Game 5 of Knicks vs. Celtics reminded a lot of people of the impact that a player can have without the flashiest of games, and that is exactly what I want to show here with Luke Kornet. A dude that may not get the most minutes, he may not jump out of the gym, not a guy that's going to shoot the lights out or show up on highlights, even though last night he showed up on everyone's feed because of the big game that he had with those 7 blocks. But this video is just to show a little more detail as to his impact in this game, and I've made a video on him in the past a few months ago, pretty much highlighting what he does in the scheme of things with the Celtics, just knowing his role and doing it at a very high level. Setting screens, flipping screens in transition with those Verjao screens, what some people call them, and diving to the basket and playing off of handoffs and knowing how to play in space, chilling in the dunker spot, changing to the other side of the dunker spot, little things like that, and just being intelligent. And let's get to the clips. Here's the first one. As we know, Joe Mazzulla puts him on Josh Hart. This is something that a lot of teams will do when they face the New York Knicks. They will put maybe their weakest defender, their slowest defender, even their rim protector, in this case also for the Celtics, they'll put him on Josh Hart and kind of have him roam away, cheat away, and try to help on drives, right? Help protect the rim, help rebound, and just close out late on Josh Hart. And obviously staying grounded, which we're going to see later on. So in this one, he cheats off of Josh Hart. He is in the paint to make things difficult for Cat. And there it is. He forces the pass, right? He leaves his feet there, but he forces that pass to Josh Hart, and Luke Kornet gets that block. Shout out to Horford also being in the area, making things difficult as well. Here's another one. Luke Kornet guarding Josh Hart in the post, and Josh Hart's looking for a teammate, right? There's OG Anunoby. He catches it at the three-point line, and as he takes that three-point shot, Luke Kornet, because he's cheating away from Hart, not worried about the shot, he's an extra rebounder down low. Another guy that can just battle to help Al Horford box out Karl Anthony Towns, who's a really good rebounder, and there's a free rebound. Here's a play on offense. On this next one, we see Luke Kornet chilling where we typically see him in the dunker spot. And with that rim pressure that Jaylen Brown has, obviously when he gets 2 feet in the paint because they know the mismatch with Jalen Brunson, the defense starts to collapse, right? Look at Cat having to show, right, to help protect the rim. And that's just what Kornet does in a nutshell. He sneaks up from the dunker spot, and if that rim protector shows, he's right there to clean it up. Here's a play on defense. This is Luke Kornet just cheating back, right? Playing in that drop, not worried about Josh Hart, and he's picking up OG Anunoby. And OG Anunoby, he's swiping up, right? Trying to get that foul call on the way to the rim, right? Maybe hoping to get a continuation. And Kornet just, pulls his hands away quickly enough, and there's the block. Another strong block right there. Here's another clip, and unfortunately, because of how NBA.com has these, I don't get the full view of the play. So this happened right after a screen from Luke Kornet, which Cat was guarding, and Luke Kornet just dives to the basket. There's a little bit of miscommunication here. They decide to kind of pinch it, basically blitz it, and this is what Luke Kornet does, right? Very simple. Dives to the basket. He's a huge target. You can't miss him. It's an incredibly easy pass to make, and as soon as he catches in that short roll, he has 2 jobs. Look for a shooter or put it down and get a dunk, right? And OG Anunoby knows if I don't show here on this catch in the short roll, it's a free 2 points. So gonna have to play the percentage game, and he shows, and there's Kornet immediately making the pass to Jaylen Brown. All that time left, and Jaylen Brown catches the 3. Here we are again on offense, and there's Luke Kornet. He is playing in the dunker spot, and you'll see when Jaylen Brown is about to basically start going right, Luke Kornet spaces out properly. Like, look at this intelligence that sometimes people tend to miss. He leaves the dunker spot to kind of force Mitchell Robinson to play more on his side of the dunker spot, and now Jaylen Brown's got a clearer path to play towards his strong side, right? His right hand. And there it is, right? He misses it, right? Misses the layup because obviously Mitchell Robinson shows, Josh Hart shows. After that miss, Luke Kornet's right there again, sneaking up behind that rim protector. Here's a play on defense. Look at Luke Kornet, pretty much cheating away from Josh Hart, right? As a secondary helper on OG Anunoby in the paint. And there's Josh Hart. He's going to probably catch and shoot. And there's the pump fake. And Luke Kornet, very aware that Josh Hart prefers to put the ball down. And he's ready for that, right? So he follows him along the way. And there's Luke Kornet, stays grounded, doesn't jump, doesn't overreact. He doesn't close out too hard. And he's ready to help on Cat. And there's an extra block right there. Here's Luke Kornet again, right? He's plugging on the potential drive by Jalen Brunson, not worried about Josh Hart at the three-point line. And here's Cornet, right? Slow closeout, staying grounded, not overreacting, not closing out too hard again, anticipating the drive and, you know, making Josh Hart stay on his 2 feet, stop in his tracks. And right there, right, there's a block right there, and Josh Hart's able to secure it. And just in that panic, there's kind of some miscommunication because it looked like Mikal Bridges was going one way and then he goes the other, and it's a turnover right there. Let's get to the next one. So here's Kornet on defense again, and he's obviously in the paint. He's helping Drew Holiday. I mean, this is an incredibly difficult scenario for Jaylen Brown, right? He's got Drew Holiday, one of the best point of attack defenders in the league. And then right behind him is the lanky Cornet, who can block shots without having to jump. And that's because, again, he's cheating away from Josh Hart. Look how far he is from Hart. And at this point, Derek White's playing the gaps, right? Anticipating whatever pass leaves the paint. And, you know, Jalen Brunson makes the right decision, kicks it out to Josh Hart. It's a miss, and it's the result that the Celtics were looking for. Cat grabs the rebound as expected. He's been great there. And here's Cornet with another block. Another defensive clip here. Cornet in the paint, you know, anticipating OG Anunoby, but also not losing track of Josh Hart. He's still, you know, keeping his foot out of the paint and then tapping back in. They call that 2-9ing, right? Staying as long as you can in the paint and then leaving before the 3-second call. And he's anticipating Brunson, right? Getting downhill. And here's the help. There's the easy block. Another play here on defense. Josh Hart on the ball, looking for a teammate to run a handoff with. No handoff there for McBride, and he passes it to OG Anunoby. And right here, it's a trigger for Luke Kornet. OG Anunoby in the post. He's got a foot in the paint. Let's show, right? And here he is showing, but he's also very careful not to overcommit because Josh Hart, very good off-ball player, right? He doesn't stand still. He's always looking to cut. And so, you know, Luke Kornet doing a really good job of playing that gap. And then he shows at the last second, and there's another block. And not only does he block it, this is your big man hustling after the block and saves it from going out of bounds, giving the Celtics another possession. This was one of those late game plays where, you know, the crowd just loves it when they see Kornet getting a dunk or, you know, contributing offensively, scoring wise. And here's the little handoff with Sam Hauser. It's a very dangerous play for the Knicks because Sam Hauser is a really good shooter off the bounce, off the catch, on the move. And Mitchell Robinson's got a tough decision here, right? Because he knows after this handoff, if Luke Kornet blocks off OG Anunoby, he's going to have to show to contest on that corner 3. And, you know, they stay an extra second. Luke Kornet actually ghosted it, right? He did the handoff and then he just dove to the basket. And there's that extra pass by Sam Hauser. Great pass by him. And it's a free 2 points for Kornet. Here we are on defense again. OG Anunoby getting downhill, and look at Cornet, right? Foot in the paint, not worried about Josh Hart in the corner at all. You know, forces OG to make that extra pass to the corner. Obviously, Drew Holiday is also there. And look at Cornet again. Hard closeout and blocks the shot in the corner. Here's another play. Luke Kornet, high pick and roll with Jaylen Brown. And, you know, trying to get that cat switch, and Cornet immediately dives, right? And like I said earlier, incredibly easy target. I mean, he is impossible to miss with this guy's size. And he catches it, and it's an alley-oop dunk. This guy has done so many great things for the Celtics. It's in the details, and sometimes it's just the little things. In this game, they were magnified because of the implications of this game. And love watching Luke Kornet. Let's see what else the Celtics have in them for the rest of this series.